Hi, I'm Tay, and this is Waupaca Local Live. I don't owe you an explanation. It's not consideration that I have to give. I'm gonna live the way I wanna live, and I don't have to tell you that or this. Take what you can get, read me with your eyes, listen to the words, piece together the times. I'm through being told what I got to do. I'm not tiptoeing by. Oh, this is something I pay no mind that should you. It's something I am, not something I do. Why does it even matter so damn much to you? There I said it, I am the truth, that's how it is. I am how I am, I'll reiterate this. Before I was a kid, I remember feeling it. My ways with this are old. Just let it go. There's nothing new here to know.
Welcome to Waupaca Local Live. We are so excited. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to finish sentences tonight. You might have to finish my sentences. Waupaca Local Live, we are in the studio with Tay. I've been so excited to have Tay on the show ever since first learning of your music at Mile of Music this past summer. Marcy and I both came to see you, and then
I'm sure you remember us. We were in the front row.
Yeah, we were your biggest fans.
Rowdy.
You know that what? Yeah,
we
that was us.
We were the cool ladies in the front row.
Yeah, who are these two cool old ladies that want to have us on this radio show? So thanks for being here, Tay.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right. Well, welcome. And like Deb said, we really were impressed with your music back then, and so we're happy to be able to bring you here to Waupaca. Is this your first time in Waupaca?
I've been here, I think, one other time.
Where?
Yeah, because we came and saw you.
Clearwater Harbor?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. That was last time. Okay, yeah, I missed that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you realized I wasn't there, so I'm here tonight.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm hoping that you'll bring your music back to the area many more times from here forward. You've got a new album that you're working on. Actually, it's all finished, right? The work is done.
Yes.
Yes. And the first single has dropped, and there's more to come. The whole album is coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yes. So for the first song that I played, I actually just released on Thanksgiving. And that one's called I'm Through, and it's out everywhere. So I highly recommend checking it out.
We have actually posted that on our page,
Yeah.
and we got quite a few hits on that, and I think that generated a lot of interest, which is great. People like to hear.
Sweet, thank you.
People like to hear good musicians, I have to say.
And what I
Thank you.
love about your music is it's different. You're very unique. You have a unique sound, and I love that there's story. I think every musician thinks that there's story in their lyrics, and to some degree there is, but yours is like your life is like thrown into your songs, and I really love that. Do you want to tell us anything about your I'm Through song that you just shared?
Yeah, so I'm Through is just kind of about not owing anybody an explanation, and I was kind of at a point where I felt empowered and kind of, I don't want to say cornered because that sounds a little bit dramatic, but I was in a place where, I thought that everybody knew, like, my sexuality. I didn't think that it needed to be said because it's not, to me, it's not really an event. It's not like people go around saying, oh, I'm straight, or oh, I like this, or I like that all the time. Like, you don't need to say things plain out all the time. and it also doesn't really involve the rest of the world. So it was so shocking to me to get this like feedback, like this enormous amount of feedback that people were just so hurt about not, me sitting them down and talking about it and stuff like that. And so I thought that writing a song about it rather than projecting it any other way would be the best way for that, because I've known a lot of other people that have also dealt with that, and I'm sure there's many people that I don't know as well. Mm-hmm. And it has also empowered some other people to kind of take that stance too and accept themselves a little bit more. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if that's what I can do with a song, that's
what I
what
really
I'm living
love.
for.
I love that about you, and I love it when musicians aren't afraid to, just like you're saying, I don't owe you an explanation about anything. I don't owe you an explanation about the songs that I write or why I write the songs that I do. Yeah. But you also stand up, you kind of rise up in that, look, I'm being given a platform, and from this platform, I have some things to share. So if somebody wants to listen, good.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I just feel like so many people just throughout our everyday lives and with who we have relationships with and friendships with, I feel like a lot of people expect an explanation from each other. And I am really guilty of falling into that on probably both sides. And so I'm trying to consciously always break out of that and, not feel like I owe anybody anything, and also not, press people to feel like they have to as well.
And a part of that for you is there's that piece, and there's also the piece of really owning who you are and owning that authenticity, and not being afraid to be who you really are. Mm-hmm. I think that those two things go together, right? We don't owe an explanation, and at the same time, I'm going to live my truth. I'm going to be who I really am.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That's great. So let's learn where you're from.
So
Do we have time for that? Where are you from, Dave?
It's been a dynamic journey, but to sum it up, I kind of grew up all around Green Bay, all the parts of Green Bay, and then in still my young childhood, because I'm young still, I moved out to Pulaski with my parents and went to school there for a bit, and then pursued Milwaukee after, I think when I was like 17 or 18, and lived there for a few years, went back to Green Bay, and then now I am in Ripon, and I've never loved a place so much, which I never thought that I would go back to a small town, but it's just very peaceful and the strongest sense of community there. So.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that
really
makes
nice.
all the difference, doesn't it?
How's the music scene in Ripon?
It's really building. Like, since I have, like, the first time that I went there, it was, like, just the kind of the beginning of, music being there and different arts and people coming out of the woodwork. Mm-hmm. And since I've been there, I want to say, like, 5 different places have, like, started booking live music, and
Nice.
even locals, like, have come out as musicians, and that people, that might have never, like, come out before that. So
that's great.
Like, really great musicians out of there, and just artists in general.
That's beautiful.
So throughout your childhood, were you into music?
I was, yeah. I think that I, like, started out in the shower, and then also, like, forcing my family to sit on the couches while I stood on the fireplace and made up songs on the fly. And I think that I started really getting into it when I was like 12 or 13, and started learning about, like, vocal health and stuff like that, just to take care of myself and understand, like, what's going on in my body and what I can do and what's not okay. And
that's amazing to learn that so young.
Yeah, and I still look back on that stuff every day, like, even on the drive here, I'm like, don't do this, do that. Like,
and what about instrumentally?
I picked up a guitar I want to say when I was 15 or 16. I got a few lessons from a guy named Paul Hanna of Annex, and after that, it was all kind of self-taught. During those lessons with Paul, I learned Blackbird and Telephone Line by ELO, which I still play because I love those songs.
Too.
Yeah, and since that, it's been YouTube and Google.
It's a whole different
Helping me
landscape
out.
now
Yeah,
than when
it
Marcy
really is,
and I were
especially for
young.
guitar.
Yeah.
Because it's so visual. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, we are going to probably cut to another song now,
Yeah.
right?
Do you want to lead us into your next song?
Let us know what you're going to play.
What are you going to play?
I am going to be playing Used Me Up, and this one's going to be released on Christmas.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Merry
Very cool.
Christmas. Merry Christmas from Tay. Let's have a hand for Tay. Thank you. Thank you. All right, good. That go okay?
Knuckles in a fist with kisses leaving bruises. What more could I have given for you to stop using me up? You left an unfilled cup. Mama, she sure warned me of the takers and givers, of the prophets and sinners in you. Oh, you left me dry. I had no tears left to cry. Ooh, you used me up. Ooh, oh, you used me up. You left me in a ditch, you wouldn't let me escape. You wished for me to die, but yet you begged for me to stay. I caught you digging my grave. Ooh, oh, you used me up. Ooh, oh, you used me up. I got down on my knees and I begged for you to let me leave. You wouldn't let me go, you locked me inside of my own home. Can't be a slave anymore. Ooh, oh, you used me up. Ooh, oh, you used me up.
We are live in the studio with Tay. This is Waupaca Local Live. I'm Deb Gerke. This is my co-host.
Merci beaucoup.
And welcome to the show, Tay. We are so enjoying you being here with us. Thanks.
All right, I have one burning question. How do you pronounce your last name, and are you Belgian?
That's two questions.
That's two questions.
My last name is Papour, and yes, I am Belgian.
All right, sister.
That's so cool.
All right, I had to
love
clear
it.
the air. Okay.
Do you have a middle name?
Marie.
Tay Marie Popour.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that, people. This one, pretty sure it's celebrity journey.
But you won't find me most places if you look up my full name.
No, just look up.
If you look up Tay, most of the time you'll find me.
Right. And as long as we're going there, where else can people find you? So on Facebook, you are?
If you look up This Is TAE Music, otherwise on my website, I have links to everything where you can just boop and just click on it.
And what is your
Right.
website
It's
address?
taemusic.com.
Right, taemusic.com, and that's always a good way to do it because you have all those little things if you want Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the platforms, right?
Yes.
Okay, and where's the best place to listen to your music?
Maybe on the CD or the vinyl that everybody should purchase once it comes out.
And when is that
Because
going
we
to be?
need to support artists. Yeah.
Those are going to be released on January 1st, but for the very first release show, it will actually be on New Year's Eve. So people have the opportunity to get like a physical copy a day early, then the rest of the world is going to be able to hear it.
Awesome. Are you
Yeah.
excited?
Where
Just
is
a
this
little bit
party?
excited?
This is in Ripon at the Heist.
In Ripon
Cool.
at the Heist?
I'm very excited.
Okay.
It's also going to be the debut of my band.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your band because that
yes.
last song that you played really sounded like it was great, but I kept thinking, wow, what would this be like with a band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the last couple of months, I've been working with, well, we're a 5-piece band most of the time, sometimes 6. And yeah, we'll be having a lot more shows and hopefully come to Waupaca. And the songs are very much more, I don't want to say lively because I do love playing them by myself. It definitely is a different feel, but they're just different with a band and fills in the gaps and
Right.
carries it a little bit differently. And
It does. There's more you can express with different instruments
Yeah.
as part of the mix.
But some songs, you know, like the last song that you played, really lend itself to a band, whereas they're not just backing you up, they're part of the song.
Yeah, exactly.
And it'll sound like a total experience, not just Tay and her band,
yeah,
which I think is important
Yeah.
because it's a more holistic approach to it. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to hear that. That's going to be awesome.
So what are some of the other instruments that are going to be
So
featured?
there's going to be Chadwick Johnson on keys, whether that's organ or piano. And then there's Andy Welsh on drums. And then there's David Blessant on bass. And then Calvin Casper on the guitar. And they're all really great. And then
That sounds
sometimes,
so amazing.
yeah, and then sometimes there's going to be Rogers Randall Jr. on saxophone.
Okay.
And didn't I see a post somewhere where you had some strings too on one of your songs? Maybe they won't be in
Yes.
the band, but is there a song that features strings as well?
Yeah, I forget how many songs on the album feature strings, but I'm working on it. Live
excited
strings,
for that.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a goal in the future.
It's going to be amazing. Just what
So where did
mentioned
you
is
get the strings
awesome.
players?
So I met a guy, Rob Flax, out in, I believe we're in San Francisco. I met him at a So Far Sounds concert that we were both playing, and he lives, I believe, out in Boston. And I saw that he was coming through Chicago. I was like, hey, like, come record quick. I sent him over the songs, and like 2 days later, he came, and we recorded all of the strings. He played cello, violin,
Oh,
and
wow.
I can't wait to
viola.
hear more of the album. Is driving me crazy that I've only heard one so far. Well, now two.
And yeah, and then yeah, that was
That's great.
So you had one person do it all. Did he do the arranging then too?
yeah. Well,
Okay.
it was kind of like we worked on it as we went.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he has a great ear for what we did, and also Chadwick Johnson, who's the keys player in the band, he also helped kind of guide what the song needed, and we just talked about it as we went on.
So that kind of gets into creative process. Like, how much of the process happened before you pulled any other people in? You've written the songs, you've envisioned what you want the album to be like. Walk us through that creative process a little bit, and then how you start to pull in other people that you want to make the magic come to life.
Yeah, so for some of the songs, as I'm writing them, I'm like, all right, this is going to be really great with the string section, or this is, like, I can envision this bass part over it. But some of them are so, I'm just so inside of what I'm doing and my lyrics and everything that I am like, I'm going to leave this one to the players that I choose and who caters, like the players that I chose, I felt really suited the songs that I put them on, just based off of how they play. And I wanted them to come to life in the way that those players play.
So that they could
Yeah.
really bring their gifts forward.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So when you're in the writing process, what comes first for you, the lyrics or the music, or both at the same time?
Recently I've been writing my lyrics first, and then I'll come back and kind of try to figure out a guitar part, and then usually kind of edit what I've written to make it fit a little bit better and flow. But I've done it really every way. Like sometimes I'll find like a really cool guitar part that I'm like, okay, put that one on the back burner, like keep that one in the brain. I'll put that to something later, but I just don't have the right thing for it yet. So I have a lot of those. I have a lot of voice memos on my phone
Yeah.
that are ready to just go. And,
It's hard to delete those, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's excellent. Are new ideas constantly flowing in for you for music?
Yeah, I definitely go through times when I have this thing called the writer's block, but I feel like that's kind of an excuse because it's easy to get inspired if you choose so, and it's just a matter of like pushing myself to go do things that.
Well, you have
Light
to
that up
really,
a little bit.
You have to open yourself to it, and it's
Yeah.
not always real comfortable. At least in my mind, it's not, and
Yeah.
it sucks your energy and ruins your life sometimes.
Writing
Because you can't-
songs?
Yeah,
Gosh,
it
I don't know.
does.
I found quite the opposite to be true. I guess it
No.
depends on what we're writing about, where we're
No,
coming
you
from.
get this little niggling thing, and if you really open up to it, you have to put everything in your life on hold, basically.
Yeah.
At least that's how it was for me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just shut it off because it's, it just really is.
Overwhelming sometimes?
Well, you just have other things you have to do, like you have to do the dishes and stuff.
Do you have to do the dishes, or do you
I
just say the
do.
dishes can wait and you're just going to keep working on your song?
So I actually did the dishes last night, and
For the first time in 2
but
years.
I did write a song last night. But in between thinking about what my next line was, I did do the dishes.
Good for you.
That is
You know,
a
I
real
always,
thing.
I
That's
always
what I
had
think
this
about
idea that if you could integrate it into your life, I was never able to do that, but I didn't do it full time either. So I love hearing how people do it because I just like to compare it. And you hear so many different things, but it does boil down to the songs coming through you, and you're either going to be open to it or you're going to block it.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Yeah,
true.
I think that's universally what musicians will say.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to work with a formula, I'm going to write a song about a red dog.
Oh no.
And there are plenty of people that do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's okay too. I mean, that's a way to make an honest living. So
I think that like just writing, it's more of like an itch that needs to be scratched for me, where it's like if something is really bothering me, and sometimes
Yeah.
I'm not the most confrontational person in the world, putting that in a song really helps me do that. And they're all conversation beginners, and also. Yeah, I feel like I've also realized that there doesn't need to be a structure or a formula or anything. Because like a song that I wrote last night, it's so random, but it all works together in its full form. And I think where I kind of stop myself in my tracks and get stuck, that's when that's usually when I'm thinking about like, oh, the bridge needs to come in.
Right.
Like, I need to go back to this
Well,
so
you
people know
start
what
to
I'm
get all
talking about.
technical.
but we're
Or-
conditioned
yeah,
to that
yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
It's not like that in every culture.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that a good thing to do in those circumstances is to listen to Indian music or listen to
Yeah.
just any other culture besides Western culture, because it's easy to get trapped in that formula. And then to think, well, every song needs to be a good song that can be on the album, and that's also sort of a energy blocker, I think.
Yeah.
Because you can just write music,
Yeah.
right? But it sounds like you have wisdom way beyond your ears. Your ears or your years?
Thank you.
And I know there's
awesome.
so much deep story to still discover in talking with you. So we may play a little bit of our game next segment, but I think that I would really like to talk
Yeah,
story more because I feel like there's some pieces that you haven't been able to touch on that are really close to your heart.
Right.
And I want you to be able to have that voice while we talk together. So, but right now, I know it's time for another song.
Another
so can you
song.
lead us in? Let us know what it is.
This one is Matches Burn.
Oh.
This is going to be the second song on the album.
All right.
Give us
Tay
a little
with Matches
background.
Burn.
Little background. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
that's all right. We'll get that
Thank you. Let's not let this match burn, fire into bind. We don't have to be just another rhyme. We have bound to the point of no return. Ooh, open matches burn. We're not burning, but we're still alive. Oh, we've sought out our own way to ignite, yeah. Ooh, open matches burn. Ooh, open matches burn, yeah. I've learned to overturn all my concerns of this flame we have burning. I've learned to look away, to not be fazed by what they're saying. We choose to radiate, we bend this claim, oh. The only way to burn is up in flames, yeah. Ooh, open matches burn. Ooh, open matches burn, yeah. Ooh, open matches burn. Ooh, open matches burn, yeah. Thank you.
This is Waupaca Local Live, and we are in the studio with Tay, enjoying brand new music, a new album that is, by the time everyone's listening to this, it's like able to be purchased and put into your players. And oh my gosh, the music is just amazing. I can't wait to hear the rest of the album. It really is so exciting. It was wonderful to see your first official YouTube video. That was super incredible.
Right, and you
Thank
can
you.
find that YouTube video on her page or on the Waupaca Local Live page. It is posted. Just scroll down a itsy bit and you will find it, and it's amazing.
And make
Thank
sure
you.
when you go and watch the video that you subscribe to your channel, because I'm sure there's more to
Yes,
come.
More to come. Yeah.
Yes. So we have an audience member with us tonight who is curious to know who have been your musical influences.
So my influences are kind of all over the place, but I would say, I'm not sure if anybody knows who Rachel Price is of Lake Street Dive.
Yeah,
But she,
that's
somebody,
so true.
yeah, somebody introduced me to her. I had to be like 15 or something. They're like, hey, I think you'd really like this. And I'm like, like I listened to it, I'm like, like put it away. And then a year later, I found the CD again. I'm like, what's this? And I put it back in. I'm like, oh. And it stayed in my CD player. I burnt it out. And so there's that. And also, I really love Sam Cooke. Really love some Motown-y, the old Motown-y stuff. And there's been some really good kind of underground new artists that are even like somewhat kind of local that have really influenced what I do and, helped me find what I like as well. And
So do you meet a lot of musicians as you're playing around? I think on our break you were talking about
yeah.
the places that you play.
And also, since I live in Ripon, so there's this place called The Heist that recently opened up, and there's national touring musicians that are constantly going through there.
Nice.
And so I get to meet a lot of those musicians, and that's also where I'm having my first album release. And
Nice.
so it's nice to kind of pick their brains while they're there, take that opportunity and connect with them and connect them with other people.
That's great.
That's great.
So the final song of the show that it's not time for quite yet. We've got plenty of ground to cover in talking with you first. But the title track is the song that you're going to play next, What Love Is.
Yes.
Right? So I know you've got stuff to share, so just go for it. Why What Love Is? What inspired that song? Why did that become the title track of the new album?
I think that What Love Is kind of sums up all of the songs and just kind of like my way of, I guess, living. It's a very like big song to me because I meant so much behind it. It sounds like maybe I wrote it about just like one particular interpersonal relationship, but when I was writing it, I was watching this video. I was at the Steelbridge Song Fest in Sturgeon Bay, and I was inspired off of this piece that was submitted to write about. And I didn't look at really the content of the video so much, but just the video in itself, and just kind of asked myself, like, what are these people in the video kind of doing? I know that they're trying to portray love because it was around Valentine's Day, and that was like the theme. And I more so wanted to write the song just to the masses and be like, why do we have to make love so political, and why do we have to make it such a negative thing? Because it's like so ironic that we bring such negativity to it through politics, and it was never supposed to be about sexuality or race or money or age or any of that stuff. And it's so crazy to me how like these socially ingrained concepts kind of bring in politics and how that has evolved into even affecting love, which at our core is like all we have. And so I hope that I get to live in a world where it doesn't have to be so political, and love can be love, and I'm not sure if it ever has been that way, but I have high hopes.
I'm so happy to hear that. One of the questions on our little thing that we're not going to do, because I wanted to have this conversation more than play a silly game of either or, but one of the questions is hopeful or hopeless. And you definitely are telling me that you're a hopeful person, that no matter what's happening and what the looks as if is out there, that there has to still be hope. Because otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
Well, and it's really nice to have a musician speaking to that.
Yes.
Because your music affects people. And you aren't going to know 99% of how or who it affects.
Yeah.
So by sending out positive messages, that's how we turn this around, I believe.
Yeah. And it's also like, I kind of was the person to stray away from even being involved in any kind of politics, but I realized, like, ultimately, I am an agent of social change, and so I feel like it's kind of my job to utilize that opportunity to speak to people while I have people's attention, because, like, even I am guilty of not wanting to pay attention to somebody on a stand, super dry, kind of emotionless most of the time. And if I can bring that to people and make them feel, maybe they'll want to do something about what's affecting them. And that's,
Beautiful.
I feel like, what it's about. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So when are you going to get your delivery of your CDs and your albums?
So
Are they
I think
already
that,
at your house? Because if they are, maybe we're coming over.
I think that I'm supposed to get them next week.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's going to be great.
I'm going to go pick them up next week.
Make sure you take some pictures of yourself in that moment or have
Yes.
somebody photograph it, because that's going to be one of your peak experiences in your
Yeah.
life.
I'm very
You've worked
excited.
really hard to get there, so that's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, so
Very, very good.
are we ready for the song?
I think so. Any other questions, live audience? Look at me just making a shout out right here, right now. This is it. Look at all those smiling faces. Aw. Let's give a hand to our live audience.
Yes.
You guys have been great. All right,
And
we'd like to thank our crew here at 96.3 who run this show. They're awesome. We've got a few people that just dedicate their time to doing this, and I'd like to thank Deb, and Deb would like to thank me, and we'd like to thank Tay.
We would.
And happy holidays to everybody. We're really happy
We
to
know
be
what love is in
heading
Waupaca, by the way.
Oh,
do.
maybe I should
We
move
We know-
here.
Well, it sounds like you're figuring it out in Ripon too, but we know what love is.
Yeah, you
We've
should
got a
move here,
good,
though.
strong community who taps
Yeah, I
into
feel
love
that
all
way.
the time.
that way.
Seriously. Yeah. All right,
All right.
sing it to us.
One
All
last
right.
song from Tay.
Thank you.
It always goes.
Is this what love is like? Has it been portrayed in the truthful ways all this time? Have I got it right from what you've had to say? Done and explained and brought to light. Have I been misled by the word? Though I'm losing my concerns, has this like them, to show we're more than friends full time. But does something less mean this isn't quite what love is? Who are you to tell? Who are you to tell? While this feeling is being felt, have I been misled by the word? Though I'm losing my concerns, as this feeling's being felt, who are you to tell what love has? What love has? What love is? Thank you. Thank you.